It's the year 1950 and your grandmother is applying for a job. The employer finds out she has a small tattoo on her wrist and immediately turns her away. It's 1960 and your grandfather is walking down the street with a tattoo on the side of his neck. People are gawking and staring at him like he is some sort of a freak show act. What kind of a world would that be, to be publicly shamed for sharing your creativity and artwork using your body? Today's society is thankfully much more open and okay with tattoos. Maybe you have a tattoo. Maybe you have a family member who has a tattoo. Would you believe the tattoo or even the placement of the tattoo states that they are less fit for a job? Article Under the Needle by L. Zelk states that among university students, 23% had 1 to 3 tattoos. I have over 38 tattoos and I have many friends who are ink addicts as well. I have seen both sides of society's view on tattoos and I have learned they either love them or they hate them. Society today seems to be much more lenient about them, however, some judgment still remains. I want to discuss today a few main points that show today's society has loosened up some, yet also cracked down in other ways compared to the older generation's idea that tattoos are taboo. I have attached a handout with different facts and statistics about tattoos in today's world, most of which I will discuss with you. It has always been said that people with tattoos are less likely to be considered for employment. Today's generation is more likely to hire an employee with tattoos than generations in the past. It is becoming more and more common to see a doctor, police officer, or even a firefighter with multiple tattoos. However, our generation differs from the past when involving military jobs. Branches of the military, such as the Marines and the Navy, were a big part in starting the tattoo trend. I can share my own experiences with this, as I was declined from joining the National Guard due to a tattoo on my wrist. I passed my ASVAB with flying colors on my first try, however wasn't deemed fit because of my body art. It was stated that no new recruit should have a tattoo below their knees or their elbows that they could not cover with one hand. Mine were a little big. Although the employment views on tattoos may have become more strict in certain aspects, the acceptance of women with tattoos seems to have increased dramatically. Women of previous generations were scrutinized for having tattoos. As early as the 1950s, one artist, Samuel Stewart, recalled enforcing a rule of spousal permission for women getting tattoos to avoid blowback from furious husbands. If women today had to ask for their husband's signature to get a tattoo, I feel it would start a women's right movement. Due to the idea of women having tattoos becoming more acceptable, more women in our generations are getting them than ever before. Beverly Thompson, author of Covered in Ink, has performed studies showing that 40% of women under the age of 35 are tattooed and only 4% of women over 65 are. Not only are more women getting tattoos, it is also becoming more attractive to the opposite sex for women to have them. Nicholas Gagin performed a study on how many men would approach a woman with tattoos and how many of them would approach one without. The results showed the women with a tattoo were approached by a male 24% of the time and women without only 10%. Whether male or female, tattoos were and still are in some religions considered to be extremely taboo. Religions such as Christianity, Catholicism, and Hinduism seem to be relaxing a bit and expressing their faith through body art. Islamic and Jewish religions have strong views that tattoos are against their religious beliefs. In ancient days, it was normal for pagan worshippers to tattoo themselves as a sign of commitment to their deity. Brock Davidson's article, Why Does Judaism Forbid Tattoos, states that the Torah forbids practices that emulate pagan customs. Christianity is, however, a good example of how some religious views have changed over the decades. Some Christians still believe that getting a tattoo, even if it's to show your faith, is a form of body adornment and is frowned upon. Many Christians in today's generation can be seen sporting a portrait of Jesus or a cross with praying hands. Pages 2 and 3 of the attached handout share some of the different religious tattoos society finds appropriate in present time. 2018, and I am an employed female with tattoos, many of which are seen on my forearms and wrists. I'm walking into work on a busy sidewalk and catch someone staring. I see the person approaching me, ready to speak. Rather than criticize or look down upon my tattoos, the stranger's eyes light up as she states to me, "What a lovely bunch of tattoos you have." It is much easier for me to be confident with my body art than it would have been years ago.